Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Parlay Revival. So we have sailed all the way to Vanuatu and had made it to Espiritu Santo, or just Santo for short, where we will do some diving on an unbelievable 200-meter World War II supply ship, still with fully intact tanks and jeeps inside of it, which is 100% the best dive I've ever done in my life. We later find ourselves in one of the most remote places we've been to in Vanuatu, as we get welcomed into a village which may have never even seen foreigners before. But first, we were on a little bit of a different mission.
We're out of here! Yoo! Santo! Gonna go see Leon's land.
The only problem was, we had no idea where Leon's land was.
Land of the unknown.
See if it exists.
There are no letterboxes and only vague road names here in Santo, so the directions we had were to drive 20 minutes out of town, go past the cemetery, and where the road forks and heads off into some unpronounceable town, that's where your land is. Leon had never even been here before, despite buying land here online, so I had major second-hand excitement for him to be exploring this place that he had invested in. I remember how excited I was when I bought a small lot of land in Nicaragua, with big dreams of one day building a surf retreat, but that was before I put all my money into this boat right here.
Okay, we've just dropped the anchor. We're gonna head straight out to go see Leon's land. He's bought these things sight unseen. You nervous?
Nope.
Excited?
F***ing excited.
He wants to buy a box of beer and some ice to bless his land. Is that our taxi stuck in the mud over there?
Yeah, they're all pushy.
Oh, shit.
I'm not sure what we were thinking, but we went to shore, bought a couple of beers, and headed off in the general direction of Leon's land.
I remember the road down there.
Yeah.
It goes straight to
Every property looked exactly the same, so we drove around in circles for about an hour not knowing which piece of land was actually his. Finally, the guy who sold Leon the land picked up his phone and said we could meet us at the intersection where the land was, so finally we had a solid lead.
Here we are.
Okay. Cheers, mate.
And boy was he stoked.
Woo!
Is it what you thought it was?
It looks exactly like the pictures that Graham sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I saw in the pictures like 18 months ago.
I was so happy for Leon that the land had lived up to his expectations. Leon had plans of starting a carver plantation here, as this is a very lucrative industry, as Vanuatu is known for having the best carver in the world. Unfortunately, the man who Leon was so excited to meet had been less than honest to him about everything, which created a massive headache for Leon. Not that this was the case for Leon, but there have been countless reports of people selling land which does not even belong to them, or even selling land to two different buyers, which was pretty shocking to hear. Foreigners aren't allowed to own land outright in Vanuatu, but rather have to get a leasehold title, with either the customary landowners or the government retaining ownership. So there are many moving parts to land ownership here in Vanuatu.
Leon,
Yeah,
you're leaving.
not yet.
You just told me to stay one more night, right?
Oh, fuck.
That can change the game.
You're
about to leave.
Whoa, 6 beers in and it got f***ing dark.
This is potentially home for you now.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've looked through Mexico, I've looked in Guatemala, I've lived in Belize, had a look at Ecuador.
You've done the ultimate leap of faith. We've just bought some land, sight unseen.
You got one life. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Just f***ing go for it. You got a dream, you got a little bit of ambition, follow it.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
I'm going to be following you closely, Leon.
I'm going to be following you guys too.
Anyway, we left Leon the next morning to pursue his dreams and headed over towards a world-famous dive site, which holds a rich history during the Second World War. Back then, Vanuatu, known as New Hebrides, was a joint British and French colony, and in 1982, 100,000 American troops arrived here right in Espiritu Santo to attempt to push back the Japanese, who had made advances on the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea.
They learned that their duty was to die rather than fail. For them, suicide wasn't an end, but a means to an end. Victory for Japan.
For tourists like us, the war has left thousands of tons of remnants beneath the ocean for us to explore, with one of them being $1 Million Point.
Morning guys, we are heading over to a place called $1 Million Point. And we're gonna do our first dive here in Vanuatu.
It says here, when the United States military abandoned the Vanuatuan island of Espiritu Santo after occupying it as a base during World War II, it left behind infrastructure works such as roads, buildings, and runways. But its oddest legacy might be the millions of dollars of goods it dumped into the ocean just so the French and British couldn't have them. Snorkelers and scuba divers encounter a surprising sight of fortune worth of military tanks, guns, and jeeps resting beneath the waves. Dun dun dun.
It's hard to put it on, right?
That's the point.
So once Pedro had finally managed to squeeze into Katie's wetsuit, we jumped in at $1 Million Point, which revealed a mind-blowing underwater scrapyard of military equipment, once all owned by the USA. There were piles and piles of old jeeps, tanks, trucks, bulldozers. The list just goes on and on. This was the most fascinating dive I had ever been on. Well, that was until we went on our next dive, that is.
Well, that was pretty cool. That is a very unique experience to see all those tanks and jeeps, and right down the bottom there was that shipwreck and we went right into the engine room. Very cool. So next will be the Coolidge, if we can get onto that. That's meant to be one of the best wreck dives on the planet.
After seeing that, it blows my mind how someone could dump millions and billions of dollars worth of equipment just into the ocean like that. It was wild. Tons of coral as well, tons of fish life.
What's interesting is every wreck that you dive on is just teeming with wildlife. Organisms like clinging onto these things, so it actually creates a home for them. So what started out as a massive pile of junk, well, millions of dollars worth of junk, is now a home to so many different fish. More so than just along here. Anyway, we'll see if we can get a Coolidge dive happening, but you have to take a guide or else you get a fine or something.
And that's exactly what we did. The next morning we got picked up by Paul from Auri Adventure Sports, who would guide our dive on the Coolidge, which is a 200-meter supply ship which ran into an Allied mine after the captain was uninformed about the dangers of coming in that particular pass. After 2 explosions, he then intentionally ran the vessel aground in an attempt to save as many lives as possible. And the maneuver was actually pretty successful, with only 2 of the 5,000 troops on board losing their lives, with one of them being from the explosion itself. The wreck is largely intact, but is absolutely huge, so people have actually gotten lost inside her and drowned, hence the rule of needing a guide to dive this wreck. It was so surreal to be diving inside something not only just so old, but so huge as well. And she still had all sorts of machinery sitting inside of her. There were bombs and ammunition, and even the old barber chair where the troops used to get the old short back and sides done on board. This is officially the coolest dive I have ever been on. The Coolidge dive was the last thing we wanted to do in Luganville, so with that ticked off, we sailed north to a random bay called Pulo Bay. It was here that I got a call that I had a package arriving, but it wasn't by post.
Alright guys, I'm going on a bit of an adventure. So in Fiji, my laptop broke. I shipped it to Miami. They repaired it and they DHL'd it back to Vanuatu, but it took about a month to get back. And it arrived in Port Vila this morning. So my friend Chris gave it to a random guy who flew up here with it today. And I'm gonna go try and meet him at the airport. But we're in the middle of nowhere here, so I'm gonna have to try hitchhike or something to the airport. See what happens. All right, I believe there's a road here somewhere. There's so much cyclone damage. Oh. Now what? Comes the first car I've seen. Like 10 minutes. Okay, no good. I think I really underestimated the lack of traffic on this road. One car. Wrong direction. By the way, that first car they just drove straight past was full. So I'm not holding that against them. The Nivan people are the friendliest people I've ever met. That's why I'm even attempting this. Are you coming back this way?
Yeah.
It's this way to the airport?
Airport, yeah. Okay, you can come. We go to village and back to airport, no? You come to selling boat?
Yeah. What's your name?
Simon.
Simon. My name's Colin.
So my new friend Simon offered to take me back to the airport after dropping something off to his wife. The kindness of the Vanuatu people, or Nivans as they are affectionately known as, continues to blow me away. Part of me was a little nervous that my $3,000 laptop was in the hands of a total stranger, but the other part was pretty sure that the generosity of the Nivans would prevail here today.
Oh wow. Thank you, Tuma. Amazing. To give you some money. To say thank you. No, this is for you, okay? Thank you. Saved me a lot. You saved me a lot of money because
I didn't expect anything.
No, thank you so much because now I don't have to fly to Vila.
Okay.
You saved me a lot of money.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul. Got my laptop. This thing's been halfway around the world. Man, stoked. All right, back to the boat. Thank you, Simon. We'll see you later for the barbecue.
Okay.
Success. Oh. The infamous computer. It has been a lot of work to get this through customs and everything. But yeah, met Simon who drove me around all day basically. I told him I was from New Zealand and whatnot. He said, oh, New Zealand, do you know a guy called AJ? I said, nah, I don't really know him, mate. There's quite a few people in New Zealand. He's like, no, he's a big guy, AJ. He's from Auckland. I'm like, oh, nah, sorry, man. It's so cute.
As we've mentioned in other episodes, the cyclone season was fast approaching, so we had to continue north faster than we would have liked. But staying in the cyclone belt was definitely not the right thing to do. So we cruised north with a nice little stop in Port Olry, which is absolutely stunning as well. This is quite a popular tourist destination, and for good reason, but we were looking for something different. We decided that we would do one last stop at the very northern tip of Santo, which had zero road access and could be our final experience of the true untouched beauty of Vanuatu, which apparently is pretty much never visited by tourists.
So we've sailed all the way up to the very tip of Espiritu Santo Island, and we're anchored in front of a town that looks like it's called Vanuatu. So this would be the most remote place we've come to in Vanuatu so far. Feels quite surreal to be here, middle of nowhere. Every other place we've been to in Vanuatu, we've kind of heard something about it. So you go in there kind of expecting something, but here we haven't really heard anything. So, I don't know, I'm a bit nervous about what to expect here. We're so far from the rest of civilization that they probably can't speak very good English. So communication could be an issue. Let's go see what happens.
I was surprised at how nervous we were coming into this village. The Nivan people had been so friendly everywhere we went, but we were a little uneasy about whether this village would actually welcome foreigners or not. But all of that disappeared in a second when we met the warm smile of Marilise on the beach doing her washing. We always try to give a little something when we visit these remote communities, and they are always eager to give us a little something in return.
We'll trade you for some oranges.
Okay.
Marilise took us for a walk through her village and offered to give us bags and bags of fresh fruit, which they had in abundance in their backyard. They had more types of lemons and oranges than I'd ever seen before. As natural as it gets. No pesticides, just organically grown from tree to mouth. And they were clearly fully self-sustainable, and had even built their own stove oven. There was a hint now and then of some more modern items which had made their way onto their shores, but it was truly like this place was frozen in time, and it had a peacefulness about it which is hard to put into words. The village is divided into two parts, separated by a beautiful freshwater stream where they bathed and did laundry. And Marilise was eager to take us to the other side, which was also where the school was. This place is so remote. I just asked if they have power. All the houses don't have power. There's a little store that they've made that must have a generator or something if they need. Like Marilise was just so lovely, just trying to give us all this fruit. But one thing the people of Vanuatu have noticed, they say yes when they don't understand something. So you can say, is there a soccer field here? And they'll just say yes, but they don't understand and they say yes. So you can get very, very confused.
Say hi! Hi guys!
We're just walking through the school. We're trying to find the store because we have some money left over that we want to spend at the shop. But this is Ruby, and you're the principal of the primary school.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of this is a boarding school, so the kids sleep there. Yeah.
The majority of the students they sleep at school, but some students they come from the nearby village, so they are day students.
Yeah. Okay. And you were saying every Friday you have to walk home.
Yes, every Friday. Because I live on the other village, the other side down there, so I have to go for weekend.
And how far is the walk?
I have to make a 2 to 3 hours walk.
Wow. So you do that every Friday?
Every Friday, I go down. I go for weekend. On Sunday afternoon, I have to come back to school.
Ah, wow.
So the main reason for my weekend is to go and check my gardens, and I also have some livestock at home.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to go and check them.
Wow. Can we play football with the kids?
Sure, you're welcome.
Let's go.
The principal, Ruby, had amazing English, but the children were still learning. So playing soccer was one way that we could all interact with each other no matter what language we spoke.
Hey, it's good.
In our travels around the world, one of the things that stand out is that children are the same no matter where in the world they grow up. They laugh, they play, they tease, they compete, just as we did when I was at school. And it's these moments that race, colour, affluence, or even age don't matter. We're all just simply enjoying each other's company. And that is such a wonderful thing to experience, particularly in such a remote part of the world.
Hey! Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. They say music is the universal language, and also soccer or football is a universal language around here. Doesn't matter if you can't speak to them, you can play soccer with them.
The girls also insisted that Britt goes and plays a game of volleyball with them, since the boys were having so much fun. So off they went.
They've invited us over for dinner tonight, so we're going to cook something different, which is a pasta. Pedro's going to cook it Brazilian style, and go share a meal with them. Immerse ourselves in the culture. That's what it's all about. And the kids are still waiting on the beach for us. We told them we'd be back soon.
We had come to Pulo seeking an authentic Vanuatu experience, and that's exactly what we were getting, and then some. We'd officially been welcomed into their family, and we were so eager to learn more about their way of life.
For the gardeners.
Okay, thank you.
They can use it.
Leave it there. It's
I did my bit. This is your kitchen.
Yes.
Very nice. So you're the chief's daughter, huh?
Yes.
Wow, you're royalty.
While the food was cooking, the village boys summoned us over to watch them prepare kava, which, if you haven't realised from recent episodes, is a proper way of life here. Some of the men do this every single night, but it's not like alcohol where you get drunk and silly. It simply calms you down, making you extremely relaxed.
When you see bubbles, it means troubles.
But if you drink too much, that relaxation comes in the form of not even being able to move your legs, which can be a little worrisome.
I'm genuinely worried about this. This is 10, 20 times stronger than what we were doing in Fiji. We've put it through the mincer twice, just working it. This is one potent mix.
Too strong?
Too strong.
Really?
Ready to drink now.
That's an open air nakama, right?
Yeah. Open your nakama.
Under the tree. Oof, that is high tide. After you.
Now I'm calling
I
you.
will have, but you first.
You go.
It's full.
This is full tide, huh?
Yeah. Drink.
Oh.
Tastes good?
I need to see them have one that big now.
After indulging in some local kava, Merrily sat us down for some chicken and taro, which is a root vegetable similar to a big potato, but quite different tasting.
You've never had pasta before?
No,
Never?
never.
Does it look nice?
Yes.
It looks good?
The pasta got the seal of approval from Merrily, who had spoilt us rotten that day. So it was nice to be able to give her one of the beautiful knives that Victory Knives had given us for moments just like this.
Thank you for everything today. Amazing experience.
I hope this episode warmed your hearts a little bit, like it did ours. And we'll see you next week for part 2 of our Vanatu experience, and it just gets better and better.
So he was clinging on to his mother
Yes.
and he fell.
Fell.
So what should we do?
I'll just take it home.
Take it home?
Feed it.
Yeah.